So the civil lawsuit against Jay-Z doesn't seem so black and white anymore because a judge recently scolded Jay-Z's attorneys in court and denied their request to have the alleged victim's name be revealed. Welcome back to the Kempire channel, your number one source for pop culture news and music, entertainment, reality TV, and so much more. As always, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on breaking news when we go live or when we upload. So this news came out yesterday that Jay-Z's request for the alleged victim in the lawsuit that was filed back in October, but was updated a few weeks ago with Jay-Z's name, alleging that he and Sean Diddy Combs, a business associate, had AR'd a 13-year-old girl at a Video Music Awards after party. This is important because I think a lot of people expected when Jay-Z came out on his Roc Nation Instagram account and social media accounts and basically blasted Tony Busby, then revealing that it was Jay-Z was the John Doe celebrity that was suing Tony Busby for extortion. I think a lot of people thought that, okay, this is done. And then a lot of people also thought after the accuser admitting that there were knowingly some mistakes in her report, I think a lot of people thought that this would be done, but it's not. Before we get to that, just a reminder. So Jay-Z, after being named in the civil lawsuit against him and Sean Diddy Combs, went on social media and said this. And honestly, I think at this particular point, they should just take down anything in regards to this case and deal with this case through the courts and not the court of public opinion. So at the time, back on December 8th, Jay-Z posted this public statement saying, my lawyer received a blackmail attempt called a demand letter from a, quote, lawyer named Tony Busby. What he calculated was the nature of these allegations and the public scrutiny would make me want to settle, which, according to Tony Busby, other celebrities have already settled with some of the victims. No, sir, it had the opposite effect. It made me want to expose you for the fraud you are in a very public fashion. So no, I will not give you one red penny. These allegations are so heinous in nature that I implore you to file a criminal complaint, not a civil one. Whomever would commit such a crime against a minor should be locked away. Would you not agree? These alleged victims would deserve real justice if that were the case. This lawyer, who I have done a bit of research on, was these the shadowy operatives that Tony Busby is accusing you of? He says, this lawyer, who I have done a bit of research on, seems to have a pattern of these types of theatrics. I have no idea how you have come to be such a deplorable human, Mr. Busby, but I promise you I have seen your kind many times over. I'm more than prepared to deal with your type. You claim to be a Marine. Marines are known for their valor. You have neither honor nor dignity. My only heartbreak is for my family. My wife and I will have to sit our children down, one of whom is at the age where her friends will surely see the press and ask questions about the nature of these claims and explain the cruelty and greed of people. I mourn yet another loss of innocence. Children should not have to endure such at their young age. It is unfair to have to try to understand inexplicable degrees of malice meant to destroy families and human spirit. Fast forward, a lot of people thought after this statement that Jay-Z showing up on the red carpet for the new Lion King movie was all plotted and planned. I've heard people even say Beyonce's performance at this Christmas halftime show was plotted and planned to distract from this lawsuit. But we have to keep in mind, here I go twerking on a fence, we have to keep in mind a lot of these things are already planned months in advance. Probably even before he received any sort of, quote, demand letter from Tony Busby. And I don't think it's abnormal for a father to support his daughter. But literally, after this halftime performance, I'm seeing reports and rumors and people talking on the internet that Beyonce's using this halftime performance to distract from this lawsuit. But as you can see here on the channel, we could talk about Beyonce's amazing performance at the halftime show, and we can also talk about Jay-Z being denied by the court. Two things can exist. He says, my heart and support goes out to true victims in the world who have to watch how their life story is dressed in a costume for profitability by this ambulance chaser in a cheap suit. He says, "You have made a terrible error in judgment thinking that all celebrities are the same. I'm not from your world. I'm a young man who made it out of the projects of Brooklyn. We don't play these types of games. We have very strict codes and honor. We protect children. You seem to exploit people for personal gain. Only your network of conspiracy theorists, fake physics, psychics, will believe the idiotic claims you have levied against me. If not for the seriousness surrounding harm to kids, would be laughable. I look forward to showing you just how different I am." So after he made this public statement, we all speculated, so what exactly is Jay-Z going to do? He had already filed this lawsuit accusing Tony Busby of extortion. Well, we've seen since then his attorney, Alex Spiro, go speak to media outlets, file different motions. Well, the judge did not like that. But just to give you a little timeline, so after the statement came out, then Tony Busby responded. Tony Busby accused Jay-Z and his team of intimidation, trying to have his old clients filed fraudulent lawsuits against him. Then the victim did an interview with NBC News where she admitted that there were some inconsistencies in her story. Okay? We've gone through the inconsistencies before. Well, that's when Jay-Z decided to release another statement on the Roc Nation account saying, "Today's investigative report proves that this, quote, attorney, Busby filed a false complaint against me in the pursuit of money and fame. This incident didn't happen, and yet he filed it in court and doubled down in the press. True justice is coming. We fight from victory, not for victory. This was over before it began. This 1-800 lawyer doesn't realize it yet, but soon." That was not his last statement. As you know, we already went through this where he went on social media a week ago, literally. He says, "Mr. 1-800 said today that Roc Nation is criminally responsible for his legal woes with ex-clients or ex-lover who's accusing him of transmitting venereal diseases, assaulting, falsifying documents, and stealing client monies." So this is where a woman was suing Tony Busby, saying that she had an extramarital affair with Tony Busby and he gave her a venereal disease. He says, "No and no, God is behind the sunlight you keep referencing. We are not the source of every sunlight that you get, but rock sunshine is coming your way, Mr. 1-800. Shameful." This was a post that he had posted and deleted, and he has since turned off the comments for this post. Because I think what Jay-Z saw after his initial post was that a lot of people were in support of Jay-Z. I think since that first post, the support for Jay-Z has waned a bit. I'm not saying it's completely gone, but it's waned a bit, okay? Some people speculate that Beyonce's support of Jay-Z has waned a bit. Well, here's what we got from this week's court update. And this is what the judge has said in regards to Jay-Z. So this is a little bit of a legal win for Tony Busby and a little bit of a loss for Jay-Z. But this fight is not over. So Rolling Stone tells us that Jay-Z was hit with a warning in his fight against a Jane Doe SA lawsuit as a judge ruled that the woman can proceed anonymously and blasted the rapper's lawyer for, quote, relentless filing of combative motions. So we recently did a collaboration with allegedly Stephanie from here on YouTube. So if you missed it, we did talk about the idea of a alleged victim being named in a lawsuit versus remaining anonymous. And every judge makes a different decision. It's not cut and dry. Some people might say, obviously, you're not going to put a victim through being named in a lawsuit. However, there have been updates to some of the Sean Diddy Combs victims that have been forced to refile their lawsuits with their names. So you just never know depending on the justification of the judge. The judge in this particular case did say that they will revisit the option of having the victim come forth with their name. The Roc Nation founder, whose real name is Sean Carter, has vehemently denied the claims from the Jane Doe accuser, who alleges that she was 13 years old when Carter and Sean Diddy Combs arred her during a VMA's after party in 2000, so 24, almost 25 years ago. The woman filed her lawsuit in October, adding Carter's name to the complaint on December 8th. Combs' lawyer similarly denied the woman's claims, saying that the Bad Boy founder has never SA'd or trafficked anyone, man or woman, adult or minor. Carter has since launched into action suing the woman's lawyer, Tony Busby, for extortion and defamation in California and issuing several statements denying the woman's heinous accusations. His high-powered legal team have filed numerous motions with the court requesting for the woman's identity to be made public and even an outright dismissal of the case. After the woman's interview with NBC, where she admitted to making, quote, some mistakes in regards to aspects of her story, Carter's attorney, Alex Spiro, sought an expedited hearing on the matter, arguing that her, quote, stunning revelations make clear that the complaint had no factual basis whatsoever. The court did not like some of the actions of Jay-Z's legal team. But in a ruling on Thursday, Judge Annalisa Torres ruled that the woman can proceed anonymously in the case, according to the court documents obtained by Rolling Stone. Judge Torres noticed that the weight of the factors, such as the highly sensitive and extremely personal nature of the claim, quote, tips in favor of allowing plaintiff to remain anonymous, at least for this stage of litigation. So that's important to note. Still, Judge Torres noted that she will revisit the decision as the case progresses. So she's going to allow this to progress. It's not going to be dismissed just yet. Taking aim at Carter's attorney, Judge Torres said the, quote, relentless filing of combative motions containing inflammatory language and ad hominem attacks on Busby is inappropriate, a waste of judicial resources, and a tactic unlikely to benefit his client, meaning Jay-Z. The court will not fast-track the judicial process merely because counsel demands it. So this is sort of like a slap on the wrist to Jay-Z and his legal team, basically saying that you might be used to getting your way in the world, but not in my courtroom. Reps for Carter did not immediately respond to Rolling Stone's request for comment. While Carter's team fights to dismiss the woman's case in New York, there is a growing war between the mogul and Busby, who claims to represent more than 120 alleged victims that are against Sean Diddy Combs. After Carter sued Busby in November, Busby filed his own lawsuit against Roc Nation last week, accusing the company and its lawyers of using, quote, shadowy operatives and promising paydays to illegally entice former Busby clients into filing, quote, frivolous claims against Tony Busby. So this is part of the reason why I say a lot of times when things seem cut and dry when it comes to these legal matters, the law will always tell you it's not so black and white. So the law kind of twerks on the fence.
Hell no.
Kind of, sort of. Guys, as always, I want to know your reaction to this update, this legal loss, technically, for Jay-Z, at least for now. And it sort of seems as if the judge scolded Jay-Z's legal team for combative motions. As always, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on breaking news when we go live or when we upload. Thanks for watching.
You bring the lighter.